There we go. All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 138 of the CosCast. I am, as always, your main host, Pixie Does Cosplay, and with me today, I have my usual co-host,
Annabelle Cosplay,
and Enya Cosplay.
Welcome, ladies. Also joining us tonight are our lovely, lovely guests, the Fuzzy Teddy Inn, Hidesetai Cosplay, and Kanuto Cosplay, who are all members of Team Norway and will be competing in the Nordic Cosplay Championship in July. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, as some of you may have already read or guessed, this is our pre-NCC special. We have a tradition for it. We've been doing it for at least 3 years, I think. So, yeah, that's the main theme of this evening's show. But before we get into our main event, let's do some of our usual segments. So let's start off with, have we been working on anything cosplay related during the past week?
Actually, today I got to do some cosplay work, or I have started a mock-up on the vest that I'm going to use for my OC character in our Dragon Age RPG gaming thing. So yeah, I've
awesome.
I've actually cut some fabric today.
Wow, that is like just the second costume you started this year. That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyone else?
No.
I haven't had the time. I've been traveling a lot for work this week, and now I have visitors over from the States that I need to show around Oslo and stuff. So basically, nope and nope and nope. How about you guys?
Us guys?
Yes, you guys.
I have been lacking a little bit of motivation for Glinda lately, so I have been doing some other stuff, just some minor things. I'm going to do a Handmaid's Tale cosplay, so I've been making a couple of things for her instead.
I saw that. The bonnet was very cool.
It was.
Thank you.
And it's nice to do some minor project in between the bigger ones, just to keep the motivation up, I guess.
Yes. Such.
I've been. I'm working on part of the costume right now. I'm making my own ears for Ford.
Cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's quite a process.
I've been really hyped. I've been working on the performance a lot, and I'm just getting more and more hyped to do everything else as well.
Yeah, you're really going all the way from scratch, basically, like everything.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. How about you, Yuna?
I have been working on my costume. Right now I'm recoloring my leathers, so that's a tiring process, but it looks so much better afterwards.
How does one recolor leather?
What I do is that I get like colors that is specifically meant for leathers, and then I make I sort of make like more shadows into the costume so that it looks a lot more dramatic. But then this turned a little bit dark, and it was like, it's not supposed to be that dark red. So I watered out some acrylics, so that it's almost like water with just a little bit of pigment, and just to give it like a little bit of highlight so that it gets more of the color it's supposed to have.
Nice. Let's see.
Yeah.
People in the chat are rooting for you all, by the way. They're like, Team Norway for the win! Team awesome! Yes!
Yeah!
So you're loved. And Lucia Farah says that she's gotten tons of stuff done for her Beauregard cosplay this weekend, and she's so happy.
I've seen pictures on her Instagram, and they look smashing.
It looks good.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm going to be shooting her. Actually, she's bringing Bo for Desicon, so I'm having a little shoot on Sunday. So that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yes. All right. So let's move on from cosplay progress and into cosplay news. Sunniva, maybe you wanna do the honors?
I'm gonna share them, but you'll have to talk about them because I
Yes.
don't know what all of them are.
Okay.
But the first one is some sort of Game of Thrones thing.
Yes. Yes.
I have no idea what this is, so you have to talk about it.
That's just Game of Thrones. It sounds lame.
I love it. I love it.
Is there something new?
Yes, it seems like HBO is greenlighting a Game of Thrones prequel series.
I read about that.
Yeah, it seems very exciting. So basically, it'll be like the years leading up to the things that are happening in the current show.
That's cool.
As far as I know. So it was written about at Variety.com. Now I haven't had the chance to actually post the links on our Facebook page this week, but I will do it after the show.
Yeah, I showed them the article.
Yes, good.
Yes.
So yeah, if anyone's interested, go check that out. I, for one, am excited for anything that gives me more Game of Thrones. To be honest.
I
don't know
just
how you-
hope that it turns out great and not turn out into.
I read somewhere that some of the stories might actually happen 1,000 years before the ongoing series.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, are they gonna have like when the original came to Westeros?
Maybe the first
Red Dragon.
the fall of where Daenerys from, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, Valeria.
Yeah, the fall of Valeria.
Yeah.
Well, that could
sounds
be
amazing.
interesting if they make it that far back.
Mm-hmm.
Could be good, could be disaster.
Yes, I guess we'll just have to wait to find out.
Yeah. And the next one is the Cyberpunk release.
Yeah. Because E3 was last weekend, if I'm not misremembering. And so a lot of new games have been announced. And among them is Cyberpunk 2077, which is being developed by CD Projekt Red, who are the same people who are behind the Witcher series, which a lot of our followers are familiar with. And I personally have not, because Cyberpunk originally was an RPG, like a tabletop RPG thing, and a video game back in the days, I think, too. And now they've remade it, and they're making this huge thing out of it, and it just looks super cool. And I want to play it. And also, I've since noticed that Mall Cosplay has posted some cosplays from it already, so I'm guessing he was hired by CD Projekt Red.
Oh, he was, and he's known about this for ages, and he has
Yeah.
wanted to talk
Yeah.
about this for a long time. And what I really love about this is that both Wall Cosplay and Maya, his wife, are both hired by CD Projekt Red to do the female and the male version of the main character.
V is the name of this character. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I want to play it. I want to see where it goes. I like all the pink and turquoise neon that's going on, and yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the universe at all.
Not very
Just a
much,
little
but I'm
bit.
very, very excited about it, at least.
Cool.
It looks very cool.
It does.
It does. And also Skyrim was announced, a new version of Skyrim, so I know a lot of people are excited about that.
I've actually managed to get kudos points with my students because I predicted an Elder Scrolls game at E3 3 weeks ago.
Ooh, well done, sir.
I've heard some rumors about a new Elder Scrolls games. No, that's not gonna happen. No, new Elder Scrolls game.
That's amazing. I personally am sad that there are still no words of Dragon Age 4. Where is my Dragon Age 4?
It's 2020 release, I predict.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
no, wait, they're gonna say that it comes out in 2020, and then it's gonna come out in 2021 because that
Yeah,
always
exactly.
happens. It's always delayed.
Yeah, but that's better. It's better that they delay it.
Yes.
Or else we
Yeah,
get
yeah, I
Dragon Age
totally
2 again.
agree.
We don't want another Andromeda on our hands.
Or Dragon
No.
Age 2.
No,
Yeah.
no, Dragon Age 2.
I love Dragon Age 2.
I love Dragon Age 2. Me as well. I love Dragon Age 2. I am playing Dragon Age 2 right now.
Good boy. Who are you
What?
romancing? Very important
I am
question.
sick and tired of walking in the same dungeon for the 10th
Yes!
time, and I'm not even
I agree. I agree.
There are certain elements of that game that is so rushed, and
Yes.
it's suffered for it. But
I like the story. The
Yes.
story is
Yeah.
still good.
the
I think.
story and the characters
Yeah.
are
Varric!
that's why you play. Yes, Varric.
But sadly, those copy-paste dungeons are stuck to my
Yeah.
mind forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Lucia Ferrer says, "Give me DA4."
Yes.
Ah.
I just want to watch the world burn with Solus. It's everything I need in my life.
No,
Suck it, bitches.
no.
We're out of here.
Leave Solas in the cave where
Okay.
he belongs.
Yes, exactly.
But
Leave
guys,
Solas
guys,
behind.
seriously,
Yeah.
we can talk about Dragon Age
Forever.
forever, and that's not what we're here for tonight.
No.
What? Isn't it? You can't start talking to me about Dragon Age because I will go on forever.
Yes, and I don't want any of us to, fight during this
No.
casting.
No.
What are you talking about? Teddy even showed up dressed for this. He's wearing Iron Wolf Dragon Tooth.
Oh my god, let's go
wow.
get my necklace.
What we can say is that we all love Dragon Age. It's a very good game, and let's just hope that Dragon Age 4 becomes the best game ever.
Yes.
Shall we move into the main theme, though? Because I
Yeah.
predict that we're going to go overcast because we have a lot of questions for you guys.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. No, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're going to show some pictures first. And these are pictures of the costumes that you qualified with, if I'm not mistaken. The first one I'm going to show is a picture of Heresetai in her Sansa Stark costume. I believe this photo is taken by the lovely Starbit.
Yes.
Yes. And you qualified where?
At Turicon.
Yes, you did.
We saw your performance and it was so good. Like chills.
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so,
It was a lot of fun. I really liked that performance.
Yeah.
It was a little artsy fartsy, but
It was cool. It was very cool.
good.
Yes.
Good.
So you are one of the participants for the Norwegian crew at the NCC this year, and the second one, which is Teddy, in his Fjord costume from Critical Role.
Ford.
Ford. Sorry, Ford.
Or Fjord.
It's written Fjord, but he pronounces it Ford.
He
Yeah.
pronounces both
Oh
actually.
yeah, he does. Kind of. That's true.
What? How does that make sense? Anywhere.
Just
It doesn't.
just don't call him Ford because that's wrong. Ford is right, Fjord is right, but Ford is wrong.
I'm
Right.
confused.
Yes.
So confused.
Everybody's confused.
Can we just call you Al?
Leon.
Yes. And we don't have a picture of Kanute Cosplay in her costume, but we have pictures of the costume. And this is the character. I don't know what it's called.
His name is Gabriel Belmont. I call him Gay Babe.
Oh, and where is he from?
He's from Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1.
Ooh, nice.
So he's a vampire?
No,
No.
he's a vampire killer for now.
Ah, cool. For now, that sounds ominous.
Yeah. And I
The
just
second game is an entirely different story.
And I just showed a few pictures of the costume as well. I believe we're gonna go more in depth in asking questions about the costumes and stuff in soon. So I'm not gonna ask now. But yeah, Let's move into the question part. I was thinking maybe Tonya, you could start.
Yep, I will do that. Okay. Just to get some sort of order into this chaos. I think we will deal with the answering by Yuna and Teresa, and then Truls. Okay, sounds fine. So, question number 1: have any of you competed in the Nordic Cosplay Championships previously, or is this your first time?
I actually have. I competed in 2015. That's basically where I think I became friends with Teddy, because we had to spend so much time together. We had met before. We met up on Psycon, and then I won the Psycon, and we had to be friends by proximity.
Forced together by circumstance.
Yeah, but I guess people bond together when they go on trips like the NCC and the stuff, because you have to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, we currently, like, with all of the NCC, all of the contestants, we have like this group on Facebook. So I think we're all becoming really good friends by now. We already have like our own jokes and gags
cool.
that we are planning on executing.
I can see Teresa's already having a lot of fun with the inside jokes.
I have one. It's sitting right beside me.
Show it.
So happy.
Okay. So, since we are a lot of contestants, and there's a lot of stress and a lot of sadness and a lot of we Norwegians, we bring the most efficient medicine ever known to man. Torsken.
Holy Torsken!
Oh, holy Torsken.
I love it. Are you bringing it with you to the NCC? Please say you are.
Of course.
That's amazing. I love it so much.
So, Teresa?
Yes, it's my first time.
Are you excited?
No. Sounds super lame. No, I'm very excited. I am. I mean, I've wanted to for the last couple of years or so. I really wanted to go to the NCC, so I'm very excited. I am.
And how about you, Truls?
Yes, as Yuna said, we went to the same year. So yeah.
That's the year you cosplayed Hawk, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember this. It was a very fun and very entertaining, action-packed performance.
Yes. The
I have the picture on my phone.
So do I. I still have questions about that one.
I sometimes send him the picture of the broken stuff just to be like, remember this?
Poor baby.
Trauma.
People are still commenting on it.
Yeah.
Well, it is very. It's like kind of like a moment like when Oddvar Brå brakk staven. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
When the fuzzy teddy broke his staff.
Yep.
Where were you when?
I think all of us were at my place. No, we were not. Maybe I was in. I don't remember where we
I think
were.
we watched it together the year after.
Yes, we watched it together the year after. I think I was in Tromsø watching it on a shitty streamed. I just had enough internet to watch the NCC, and then my whole internet was gone for the rest of my vacation after that.
Aww. Dedication, that's what that is.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it must be cool that both of you qualified twice for the same NCC. That's special.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a link here.
Yeah.
Are you in cahoots?
One can only guess to what I guess. All right. So you guys qualified in different ways. And Teresa, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to qualify at TourCon last year?
Like how? Like what I did, or
Whatever. The entire story.
it was fun. I don't know, what can I say? It was great. No, it was. I can tell the story about how I never intended to compete at all, and then here I am.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually ever my intention to do the cosplay competition at TourCon last year. But then season 7 of Game of Thrones came out in July, and I was like, gotta make Sansa. And then I was like, would be kind of fun to compete with her. There's 2 weeks left to TourCon. Let's do it. So yeah, I made her in a couple of weeks, and I was glad I had my summer holidays at the time, so I had enough time to actually make her in that short period. And yeah, and then I somehow ended up winning the whole thing, which was a big surprise, but it was awesome. It was really, really fun.
It just shows that whenever you set your mind on doing something, it is possible to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you did work quite intensely, because as far as I can see, there's no faults at the costume whatsoever.
Thank you. I mean, there is, but I think it's more that when I made
Don't
it...
tell them.
Don't tell them. No, but it's more that when I made the costume, there were really only screenshots available of the costume. So obviously after, when I've seen photos of it off screen, I've seen things that are completely different from what I did, but that was impossible for me to know at the time.
Regardless, you still did an amazing job on it, though.
Thank you. I'm really happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I really like that costume a lot.
Lucia Farah is saying, who else has ringing in their ears after TourCon? When pretty much all of us screamed our hearts heads off, okay, when they announced the winner. Yeah, for sure.
I do. I think my face was like, from when I left my seat and went up on the stage and then came back again, my face was like this. I don't understand what's happening.
I think we have captured this moment in our TourCon vlog from TourCon last year.
Yeah, I think so too.
You still look better than I did.
And Yuna and Truls, you guys qualified through digital portfolio assessments. How was that like?
I'll begin. Her. I'm kidding. Well, like, if I'm completely honest, by the point that I actually sent in everything, I was basically like, it's okay to just like send this in. I'm not going to win anyway. But then at least I can't be on my deathbed and be like, all the things I should have done but never did. So I was like, okay, like, I felt like what I've written was bad, but I feel like everything I write is bad. I feel like all the photos they sent in were bad, but I feel like everything I do is bad. So I was like, okay, but it's fine. NCC is not going to happen for me this year anyway, so it's fine. We'll just send this in at 2 a.m. I think it's bad. They're going to think it's bad. I'm safe.
And then, lo and behold.
Oh, have the mighty have fallen.
Oops.
Oops.
Oops. I feel like that's always what happens when I qualify for the NCC. I just stand there and I'm like, oops.
But I think there's like an important lesson to be learned here, that like, even if you don't believe in yourself and the things that you do, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that you are your own worst critic and that you should always give things a try. You never know.
This is true.
And we all think you're amazing, so there.
Thank you. You guys are amazing as well.
Aw. Let's see. I'm just...
Yeah. I too didn't plan on. I didn't plan to deliver the file. I had the costume done and was sort of just pushed. So, hey, you've done the costume, yeah, but hey, you've done the costume. And then ended up with Nam flashbacks from college. Almost every exam I delivered for the 3 years I studied to become a teacher were basically delivered the same way. A lot of pictures and description to every picture. So basically, just another exam. So it was really simple.
A cosplay exam.
Really simple. No,
Yeah.
but one thing that
I did get some feedback that apparently mine was very, very well sorted. It was really easy to read everything.
nice.
That's 1 point for academia.
Also, actually, your version of Fjord. Actually, I saw your version of him before I saw the official art from this Critical Role season thingy. So you're kind of my headcanon for him, sorta.
Aww.
Yeah, and I think it looks pretty accurate to the the official art as well. So
Yeah.
good job.
That's the problem with Ford. There are only 2 official pictures of him.
Yeah, it's not a lot to go off of.
Ew.
And I know that Ivy is planning on doing Jester, and also she has Yasha now.
Yep. She's taking
Works
Yasha
fast.
for spin at Desucon.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what cosplays are you going to compete in? Tell us a little bit about your characters, the costume, etc. Yuna first.
Ayla from Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going to cosplay Gabriel Belmont, who we mentioned a little bit earlier. I don't know. I actually made the costume like way back in 2014.
Ooh,
I think it was 14. And like everything that could go wrong went wrong. I forgot like a gauntlet at home, and I'm on the west side, and Bansaikon is on the east side of the country.
Oh,
So it wasn't
no.
exactly like, oh no, I forgot this. I'll just walk home and get it. And there was also I'd say art-ish malfunction where basically the paint on the shoes had started to transmit onto fabrics. So I was like, I can't wear this. There are people at this con that are going to hate me if everyone end up with like silver on their prom dresses. And I'm like, no, I can't do this. And I was so sad. So I had like switch shoes, and the only shoes that I had on me were either like Thorin's really fluffy boots or like sneaker jogger shoes. So every time someone was like, hi, can I take a photo? I'm like, yeah, but you can't take photos of my feet. You need this particular cut, or you can't take pictures of me. And they were like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, them straight. Don't show my feet.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that went wrong, and it was bad, and now I'm making it again, and it looks better, and it makes me a little happy that I've gotten a lot further as a cosplayer. Yes.
Really nice. How about you, Teresa?
I am making Glinda the Good Witch from Wicked the Musical. She is a very sparkly and bubbly witch who is a bit of a bitch in the beginning of the musical. She really is. She's such a bully. She's just like, I don't care who I have to step on to get on top. And she looks so sweet, and then she's just like, no, she will stab you in the back. but then, you know, she meets the Wicked Witch and they become BFFs, and she learns that friendship is more important than being on top or, you know, being the best. So she becomes Glinda the Good.
Aw.
And her dress is as sparkly and poofy and all over the place as she is.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I've been
I'm
following
looking
your
forward
progress.
to done with it.
Lucia Farah says best bish.
At least she's not red. That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
inside joke.
And you, Trills?
Yeah, it's Ford. I don't know why. I just finished the first season of Critical Role, and the next season had begun. And well, he was a big character, and that's it. I could fit into this character. And it basically just the whole thing started as a sort of getaway project. Just on, I need something else to do instead of focusing on my actual project. And then suddenly it turned out to be quite precise to the artwork.
That's pretty cool.
And it was fun to make all the leather parts, and so yeah, me and you are gonna be leather buddies.
Covered in dead animals. Dead animals. They died for our sins. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh no.
You know what I appreciate about your costume tunes? It's that you're green.
Yes.
I'm just gonna pretend that you're Alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
Male Alphabet.
You don't need a stage ninja. You can just borrow truths.
Fine.
Teddy, we can make all the Glinda racist jokes, like, oh, just because someone is green, they're automatically your.
I didn't eat grass as a child.
Not every green person is the same, Glinda.
Also, Lucia Farah, this is commenting on the leather joke, the leather buddies. That sounds vaguely dirty.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Vaguely.
So, I mean, some of you have mentioned a little bit about this, but if you have anything more to say, but now it's the time, and that is, what has the creative process been like for you on your cosplays? Has it been smooth sailing? How much time have you spent on it? Have you learned anything new?
I can just like hear Teresa like crying.
I just passed. Oh, sorry, Yuna is supposed to talk first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
Oh yeah. If it's been smooth sailing, no, not at all. Mainly because I am such a critic right now, even more than usual. It's like every time I make something, I'm like, yeah, no, that's good, but do you know what it could be? Better. And then I rip it apart. I think every single part has been made at least twice, usually 3 times. And it's just like, every time I make it, I'm like, I am satisfied. The next day, I hate it.
I feel you.
So occasionally, the cosplay just has to go into the corner and just basically be like, you have to stay there for 2 weeks in the corner of shame until I can look at you with a bit of fresh mind to be like, is this bad or is it me?
Just a hint of perfectionism going on there. Teeny tiny bit.
Just a tiny sprinkle. Caught under an avalanche. Just a sprinkle. But I haven't had anything that has like completely backfired where I'm like crying over that. No, nothing is working in my favor and I don't know what to do and I just want to quit everything. That hasn't happened yet.
Knock on wood.
Yet.
Still a month and a half to go. My nephew was really nice yesterday. He came up and was like, "Do you need help with anything?" And I'm like, no. And he's like, "You sure?" And I'm like, I don't have anything for you to do with helping with my costume." And he's like, "All right, but you know, the night before when you're sitting there crying because you didn't finish the thing, just remember I gave you the offer." And I'm like, "You sassy little."
How old is this guy?
9 years old.
Oh, yeah, that is a lot of sass for a 9-year-old.
My entire family is sass. Even my grandma at 75 is sass. We played
Runs in the
Uno once,
family,
and
then.
she walks up and she's like, "Oh," like up to my nephew, and she's like, "Oh, who won the game of Uno?" "Oh, that's right, I won the game of Uno." And she just walks off.
Oh my god.
Okay, grandma.
I love your family already.
The only one that isn't like the sass master is mom, to make a little balance. They're like, sass, a generation of peace, sass. I don't know how she stands us.
Years of practice.
She gave birth to us, she kind of has to.
Right. Teresa, if you want to
Hello.
continue.
Yeah, no, it's not been smooth sailing. Well, I mean, it's been better than it could have been. Like, nothing has like gone disastrously wrong, thankfully. But there have definitely been some issues.
Well, yeah, I seem to remember tulle or chiffon being the wrong color for your bodice, and you've gone through how many?
I think I tried 5 different versions, so I ripped that corset or bodice apart 5 times.
Oh gosh.
Before I found the right combination. It was really difficult because the mid fabric is a holographic spandex, which changes in the light completely, and it's basically rainbow colored in a sense. And then whatever I put on top of it just completely changes. So yeah, it was very difficult. But I eventually ended up with something I'm happy with. So
I think I would want to kill myself if I had to pull something apart 5 fucking times.
Yeah.
I think I would have made a bonfire and then made a ritualistic sacrifice, and I would burn that mother.
It was close. It was very close. I was. But yeah, now you kind of just have to keep going though, don't you? You don't really have a choice, so, you know. But yeah, I just passed 500 hours of work on Glinda, and yeah, that's...
Wow.
I think like half of that has gone into sequence, to be honest.
Missy
I'm not
says...
even kidding, because well, yeah, almost, actually no, yeah, I timed it. It's almost at 200 hours of sequencing.
Oh,
So not quite half, but close.
Yeah, I've been thinking those sequins. I mean, wow. I've only done a little bit of embroidering, and that took me forever. So
Takes a while.
yeah.
At least
Missy
you
Hadra
can-
says spandex and leather cosplays. Team Norway are suspect. Throwing it out there.
Then I'm just so different from you guys. You guys are all leather, and then I'm like shiny. Look at the sparkles.
I wanna be shining.
Every princess, witch, queen, they need bodyguards.
Yes.
It's you are.
There,
You're
that's
in
it.
my bodyguards.
Cinema, you were saying something?
I don't remember.
Okay. And then Truls, it's your turn, good sir.
Just before, could we keep it to Teddy?
Oh yes, sorry, Teddy. Yeah.
My name is weird in English. Okay.
Oh yeah, it is. Teddy is easier for sure.
Yeah. surprisingly enough, Ford's been actually really smooth sailing. It's a very generic fantasy costume, so except for the boots, everything is just gone whee.
Yeah, I remember the boots.
The boots are hell.
I think all boots are hell, but then again, I've only tried to make one pair of boots before, and I gave up at the patterning stage. So.
The most fun I had with the costume was, for once, the destruction of the leather, the weathering, because Ford has some really prominent damages to his armor, and I wanted to get those. Get them correctly. So basically, I found a rock, and I went completely medieval on the leather.
Oh, that must have hurt your soul a little bit.
It was so much fun.
Weathering is so much fun, though.
Cow died for this.
Basically, I just started scratching up and then laying it on a wooden bench, and then pick up the rock of destruction. Gives me a -20 to craft, and then I'll go people on it.
CC Tori says, it has been smooth sailing. What kind of cosplayer are you? So the chat is sassy tonight as well.
Oh yeah. But sometimes, like, the primitive ways of doing things are the most right ones.
And Sample has already made a question, which is important. But we'll save it for later. We'll save it for the end of the show, Sample.
Yeah, we have another question too that I'm gonna ask later, but I'm saving that too. So you guys, performances. Do you have everything planned already? And are you guys ready to go? Can you tell us a little bit about what you have planned without revealing too much?
Wow.
Don't mention all the secrets we've been talking about. Don't spoil anything.
Yeah, I'm sensing a lot of internal knowledge here.
There's a theme in it.
I still think you, Teresa, should go with the idea that Teddy had. That would have been.
I changed the whole skit because you said that. I totally have.
It would be great. It would be awesome.
Okay, but Kanuto, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your.
Yeah. I mean, like, first off, I would like to just address the tiny challenge that is the character that is Gay Babe, because he doesn't really talk all that much. He is very much like, because he's basically a character that wanders around for months and months on end and never says anything to himself. He doesn't talk much, and he doesn't talk to other people unless they ask him a question. So it's hard to sort of get the dialogue or like a natural sounding conversation with a character that is very selective of his words, doesn't really talk much. But I found a scene where basically I managed to scoop in like enough conversation to that it sounds normal, but like basically because he has so little, you have this sort of assistant that is played by Patrick Stewart. But I can't, because it's just like, I don't care what the name character is. That's Patrick Stewart, because you can hear it. And I feel like it's distracting as F. And it's like really like the tiniest things. It's like you just walk in the door and he's like, he's in there. Like, no, really? He's inside the only door in this entire room. Wow. I couldn't have detected that myself. Thank you, Nancy Drew. You walk in and you're like, yeah, okay, you're about to have like this serious conversation with a person who has lost their mind, and you have Patrick Stewart that basically just goes, Gabriel, look over there, and it's like, no, really, the shiny thing is glowing up everything, that's what I'm supposed to focus on? You kidding? Wow. So I basically have just edited out all of Patrick Stewart. He's not allowed to be in this show. He's not allowed to be on my parade. And the best part in the entire game is that basically you feel like the main character is just always giving like a little bit of side eye to Patrick Stewart's character. Like, do you think I'm stupid? Like, just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I'm dumb. But it's like the dumbest things. Like, we have to do this or else we die. Like, no shit. Like, don't jump into the lava, then we'll die. No, really? Couldn't have to do that on my own. It was fine without you, brother. But yeah, no, me and my assistant, we are planning to like recreate one of these scenes from the game, just that we're adding in like small touches of like things here and there, and I think it can be really cool. And I realized it's sort of when you're supposed to, I had like 3 different skits that I was thinking about. 2 of them like very emotional, where I'm like, I could go far with this. I wanted to make like the scene where that I wish was in the game, but isn't in the game, and I'm offended over the fact that it isn't in the game. But like in the game, you have basically, it's supposed to be the main plot line, but like when I first played this game, I totally forgot that this was even like a plot line. So I was like, wait, what are we doing? Oh, was that relevant? Because we're trying to bring our dead wife back from the dead, and I'm like, who?
Oh.
I'm sorry, but Konami doesn't really write the wife characters very well. They do that in a lot of Castlevania games, where it's like, this is the woman you supposedly love. We will give you no reason for why you love this person. You just love her. And I'm like, okay. But why do I care? And they're like, because you love her. And I'm like, but why? Besides being a pretty face, what does she do?
What does she do?
What does she do? Is it just that she's like, oh, like just shows up and like lays her hand on your face and says it's okay? And I'm like, does that count as a personality? Is that like one of those, is this a pigeon memes? Like, oh, she touched your face. Is this a personality? Oh. But in the second game, they did actually correct that. So she has a personality in the second game. It took her 1,000 years, but she got there.
Congratulations.
Oh my god.
Well done, Konami.
I am upset about this. Oh, okay. That does sound like a personality. Well done, you. And also in the second act that I kind of like was considering if I wanted to do, like the main reason why I didn't is because I don't know anyone who could pass for being 12 besides people who are actually 12, and I don't want to bring actually 12-year-olds onto a stage.
You can just bring Tonya. She's about as tall as a 12-year-old. I'm sorry, honey.
I like that you did the evil monkey from the class.
Yes.
Oh, just you wait, Amina. Just you wait.
I love
She'll
you.
get you later. But yeah, that would have been a bit more like on the emotional side, because you basically have the character that has sacrificed everything for basically nothing. And then basically is told, like, if you don't do this, the world is going to end. Which is basically my favorite part of when the character goes, not my problem. You done goofed. You done goofed. If you don't do this, the world is going to end. And you're like, nah, sounds fine to me. I'm like depressed at this point and I don't give a shit about what's happening. And then you basically, someone talks you into that just because you are depressed and don't care about the world. It's like the most selfish thing to just let the world end because of your personal shit that going through. Because you're struggling doesn't mean that everyone else shouldn't be allowed to live. And basically then you're like, yeah, but you don't have anything else to give. Oh, well, you know, you have your soul. Don't need that no more. So you give that up.
Lots of things
You
to choose
basically
from.
you make this huge sacrifice only to like forever be branded as like a terrible person. Even if you save the world, you're still a bad person. If you win, you're a bad guy. If you lose, well, the world ended, so of course you're a bad guy.
So what you're saying is basically your act. We can
Expect.
Thank you. We can expect angst.
No, not in the actual one that the one that I actually chose. I best decided to like portray how the character is in most of the games. So just a lot of everyone around me is stupid and I want to be alone. I am the only sane person who can get stuff done. I don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I don't need no woman unless you're like 12-year-old girl, because those are like powerful. Those you can keep around because they don't talk too much and they're nice. Those are like the only people he talks to. Like, hello, I am 12. And it's like, all right, seems reasonable. We are going to save the world. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Lead the way, little girl. Clearly you know what you're doing better than I.
Wow. What about you, Herasatai? What are your performance plans?
My performance will be a little bit emotional. Glinda has a very dual personality. On one side, she is very sort of bubbly and quirky and funny and very blonde, basically. It's a good description for her. But then on the other side, she is extremely caring and emotional and wants to do right. She's just not always good at doing right. So the performance will be partly her having gotten what she thought she always wanted, but then partly seeing her losing everything that was important to her.
Right. So a little bit of angst.
A little bit.
I feel like you are one of the queens of angst in the cosplay community.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the drama.
You can still change your mind and make it into the one that me and did.
It's in there. Don't blow this. Don't tell them about the secret.
Okay. Okay. So we have some secret to look forward to.
No,
at least.
it's just a joke.
All right. What about you, Teddy?
Well, my character is from Dungeons and Dragons, so if you ever play Dungeons and Dragons, you know what to expect.
Are you gonna throw the 20s?
No. But basically, everything is on the table.
Including you.
Including me. I have a very specific idea. Everything is planned out. I finished the soundtrack yesterday, basically, and getting some really awesome help with very specific animation background, and hopefully getting that everything. I've got a baseline and seeing what I'm getting, and it looks awesome. And I don't really want to say more.
It's okay. We have one question though, and it's a very serious one, and it's from Sample Cosplay. The question is, will you recreate Tusk Love?
You give me a gesture. And, oh yes. And also, as Ihadra Cosplay is planning to do gesture, yes, Tusk Love will happen.
Oh, very exciting.
I don't know what's going on.
You make corn.
Oh my god. All right. But what are you guys looking forward to the most about the NCC, and what are you the most nervous about? Kanuto?
My 2 seconds of fame. No. I'm of course kidding. No, well, like, I haven't really been cosplaying all that much the past 2 years, I would have to say. So it was kind of like I wanted to make this costume and I wanted to sort of make it a memorable re-entry back into the cosplay community-ish. And now I have a very large stage to do it on, so I'm like, that part I'm fine with. It is moi, back again. Yeah, no, but like the performance, I'm also looking really forward to like the photo shoots, because we have like some really cool photo shoots planned. So I'm looking very much forward to that as well. It involves a castle, and I'm like, ooh.
Gonna be so cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Looking so much forward to this.
So just positive feelings, no scary or negative ones.
To this point, it's more on the if it goes south, it goes south. I will go down with this ship. I'll just stand there and be like, no, I refuse to.
We're gonna stand there right behind you if that happens.
Yeah, no, we are making. I will have me and my 3 assistants just carry me off into the distance and be like, no, I refuse to move. Carry me.
Going down with ships is a completely legit way to die. I'm just saying. I do it every day. Fine. Not a problem.
What about you, Heresa? Tai, do you have anything you are looking forward to the most?
Well, my main thing is just to show off Glinda on stage. I mean, Glinda has been a dream cosplay of mine for years. I've been a fan of Wicked for basically as long as Wicked been around, but I've never felt I've been good enough to actually make the bubble dress. And now I am at that stage, which is quite amazing. And just, yeah, being able to make that dress and wear it and be on a stage as big as the NCC is just, I'm so excited. So it's such a huge win for me to just be on stage and show it off. I am super excited about that.
Cool.
A little bit nervous about potential stress, but I hope it's not going to be too bad.
Teresa, don't forget.
Oh my god.
You're saved.
I think I might need to hold the cod quite a lot.
Yeah. What about you, Teddy?
Well, every fear that I had going in seems to have been taken away. I mean, I've been there before, so I'm kind of familiar with the drill. I'm not going on first this time, which I'm really happy about. And well, since Ford was basically my side project, everything is so relaxed this year, I feel. So I can just walk in, I can have fun. I'm gonna freak out people in my stage show. I'm gonna meet new friends, because NCC is where it happens.
Yeah, this is true. I'm so sad I won't be able to go.
Oh no.
I'm very happy for you though, Teddy, that you have a better mindset, because it sounded like you didn't have the best mindset pre-NCC 2015, so I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, that was horrible, and the mindset afterward was horrible. Oh, I was so dead.
Oh.
But it's a good thing that you can have nice relations with the memories of NCC now instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we did say back then, in a couple of years, maybe we would try it again.
Yeah.
A couple of years
Here
later,
you are.
here we are.
Can only get better.
Hopefully, I will not break any props on stage this time.
Yeah, crossing fingers. But do you guys have any good tips for other cosplayers who are dreaming of participating in the NCC one day? What do you think are important things to do to have focus on attempting to qualify?
I feel like I'm like the worst person to ask this because every time I manage to get to the NCC, it's because I have already given up.
Oh!
I'm like, it's not gonna happen for me. This is just like off-stage dream that never gonna come true. So I might as well just have fun with it. And then it's like, you're going to the NCC, and I'm like, this is not my plan. This does not fit in with my schedule.
What you're saying is, when you are not stressed and you have decided to have fun with a thing, that's when you actually qualify.
Oh, that was deep.
But I agree with that because I was in the same situation. I think all three of us were, where we didn't like, even though we tried out for it, it was kind of more of a, we're doing this for fun, and if it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't, and that's fine. And I think that is incredibly important that, of course, it is a super cool thing to do. And if you want to do it, work for it, because you have to work for it. You have to have good craftsmanship to get into that competition and get through it, I think. But have fun with it. Don't kill yourself over it. It's supposed to be fun.
But also, like, the most important thing is also when you have sort of let go of that really competitive mindset. Even if you don't make it to the NCC, you're still going to be a happier person with yourself because it's okay. So it didn't happen now. That's okay. Every time when I have really given up, I've always been on that. It's not happening this year. I just have to, now I can just relax in like the competitions and just do what I want to do the performances that I want to do. Not because it's like, this is what other people would come to see. Like no offense, but like doesn't really matter as much as me just having fun.
Yeah,
But that's
I agree.
Yeah, I
But
guess
it's just like
much more to add for myself.
healthy mindset.
yeah.
Key.
You're not giving up forever. You're just letting go.
Yeah. Just
Let it go.
if it happens, it happens. And when it happens, you stand there and be a deer in the headlights and be very uncomfortable because you don't know what's going on. And this wasn't in your plan schedule at all. And you're like, but every time when basically every time I have qualified for the NCC, it has never been like, oh, that's perfect, because I didn't have anything else to do. It's always been like, that was a terrible idea on my end. Wow.
Why did I do this?
Okay. Wow. But then at the same time, it's sort of like I'm also this person where I can't just like let it go either and be like, no, I've changed my mind. I can't do that because you sometimes meet people who have worked their ass off to get into the NCC, and then they have sort of renounced the title because it was too much work, it didn't fit, and then you see them struggling to get back in, and there's not a guarantee that you'll get back.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily like a free pass just because you won once.
No, you have to earn
So I
it
always
for
have
sure.
you have to do it now because you might never get the chance again.
Yeah.
So,
Very good point.
and it is an experience that is worth having, even if you only get it once.
Do you have any other tips for people who wants to qualify, Teddy or Teresa?
Yes, work on the craftsmanship, and I'm looking for the word. Expand your horizon. Almost in almost every costume I made, the reason why I love doing cosplay is the diversity of materials to work with, and the more materials you can work with, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, and the NCC is very craftsmanship based. So having good craftsmanship for qualifying is rather important. The judges always look for that. So that is something you should make sure to focus on.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, if you have learned something new during the process, you're always a bit more inspired to talk about it, and inspired people are inspiring to watch. Also, Lucia Farah is saying that she's gonna be cheering on everyone from her living room. Cosplay Studio is saying that he hopes all of you will win.
All of us. Yes.
Such a nice dream. Yes, the winner is Team Norway. Just too much pure awesome.
Oh my god, can you imagine if that had happened?
And then everyone else goes, damn it, Norway. We just go.
Outrage.
Have you seen the other teams?
No, actually I haven't. But
Oh yeah,
I should.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah,
Everyone
they're
is so great. Seriously, and they're so nice. They're so nice.
What we did
They're
last
so
year.
nice. They're so friendly.
What we did last year when we watched the NCC from our from my living room was that we made like these charts that you make for when you watch like Eurovision, and we kind of did this Eurovision kind of rating thing with all the NCC participants. It was really fun. It was the best.
Were you judging us? Are you going to judge us?
Yes, just a little bit.
Now you're making me nervous.
No, but it's all for fun.
Yeah, it's just for fun. Just to see if we can, if we're able to predict who's gonna win and not. And spoiler alert, we did not. We were so off the mark, but we were like, this is great, but I don't know how to tell, and these are so even. I don't know.
I think it's really difficult when you don't get to see the costumes up close as well. Like that makes it very hard.
Yeah, that was our conclusion too. Like there are so many things we cannot see on the screen. And so you really have to like be there.
That actually upsets me sometimes because I've seen that after a few years during the NCC where people have been like, oh my god, why did that person win? That performance wasn't good, or that costume didn't look so good. And I'm like, you haven't seen it up close. You don't know the stuff that the judges do. You don't know what they worked with, what kind of materials. They can have sat there and sewn the whole thing by hand. Like you don't know that. And it's just so incredibly rude to do that.
It is.
And it's just, don't go there. Don't do that when you don't know what you're talking about. That, oh my god, it infuriates me to such an extent.
But I mean, personally, I kind of like when I'm mistaken, when I'm not right sometimes, because it's like, well, guess what? That's cool. I mean, my opinion is not the only valid opinion in the world.
No.
And
at the end of the day, just remember, only Judy can judge us.
Yes, only Judge Judy.
So true. I'm gonna go into the last question, or we have several questions because we've gotten a few questions in the chat during this hour. But the first one is one from Sample Cosplay, and I'm gonna add this to a double question because this is the original question. If you were a fruit or a vegetable, what would you be and why? And this is the extra question. If your character that you're gonna be in the NCC were a fruit or a vegetable, what would they be and why?
Is this where you answer? I'd be a tomato because no one accepts me as part of the group.
Oh my god.
That is a very good answer.
Was that you or the character?
Your character as well?
I think that's the character.
It sounded like the character.
Yes.
Teresa or Herasatai, how about you?
For me personally, I think I'd be an orange because it's bitter on the outside but sweet on the inside. It's true.
Such a good answer.
For Glinda, she would obviously be a star fruit because she's a fucking star.
Oh, that's cool. Teddy?
I think I personally would be. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
no. If you have your answer, you can answer.
Oh, I would be a dragon fruit. Because no one knows how to make me open up, and no one knows how to eat what's inside. Just what? It's an amazing journey to be my friend.
Dragon fruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you say dragon fruit?
Yeah, that's what she said.
You cut it in half and eat it like a kiwi.
Yeah,
You
pretty much.
How do people not know that?
And it tastes kind of like pears.
Yeah.
It's good.
Strange freaking thing. But when you
Yeah.
look at it, you're like, how do you even open this thing? What's up? What's down? What's halfway?
When you first get to know
way,
it,
that
it's
way.
easy.
Those people who doesn't know about the dragon fruit are the same people who manage to cut themselves while peeling an avocado. How can you not?
Days.
Teddy has some strong feelings about this. Apparently, fruit
Yeah.
fruit can be a sore spot too.
My grandfather worked at a fruit and vegetable delivery compound for a restaurant.
Ah.
Yeah. I've grown up with fruit knowledge.
But, Teddy, if you were a fruit or a vegetable, what would you be and why?
Myself, I have no idea. Because I've considered myself a mammal and not a fruit. Ford, on the other hand, he will be a watermelon.
Why?
Why?
For the most obvious part, there's water
Green.
in the name.
Yeah.
There's water in the name. It's green on the outside, and if you open him up, he will be definitely red.
Oh yeah.
Good answer.
Is it also
Good
because
answer.
it's really hard on the outside but squishy on the inside?
Okay, yeah, that doesn't work because he seems to be quite squishy on the outside as well.
Oh.
Right. So the last question, I believe also that's from Sample, and she's wondering what Harry Potter houses do you guys considering being in?
Slytherin.
No surprise there.
No.
Slytherin.
Hell yeah! Oh my god, are we all Slytherins? You know?
I've never taken like the Pottermore test because I personally don't care about Harry Potter.
I
my
think it would be a Slytherin.
My friends have told me that I'm a Gryffindor because I charge into things, and I'm like, oh, that was not an intelligent thing to do.
I was gonna say you're a Slytherin
And then I just
because you're
fix
kind of
my
sneaky.
problems so that I don't get trouble, and I'm just like, okay. Whee!
Good answer.
It would be so much fun if we were all in the same house.
Oh yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
But there are actually no Hufflepuffs at the
where I
table.
want to go.
No Hufflepuffs.
No Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuffs.
No, underrepresented.
Now we have a
I
Hufflepuff in
thought
the chat though.
Yes, we do have
But other people
Hufflepuffs.
said that I
I think you
wasn't.
can
I
see, I
didn't
think you can
qualify.
see my like Slytherin altar in the background here.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a Harry Potter altar, but it's basically Slytherin stuff, so you know.
Oh, on the topic of Harry Potter, since our main segment of the evening is over, we have no more further questions for you unless the chat really quickly comes up with some. I just want to mention that our cooperation thingy with Nerdepotalen is still ongoing. So if you want to buy like cool Harry Potter stuff, like this Ravenclaw mug,
Or this one, Slytherin.
yeah,
Oh my god.
you can visit nerdepotalen.no, and if you type in the code HP CosCast, one word, all big letters, like in Harry Potter CosCast, so HP CosCast, you get 15% off your entire order. And they have lots of cool Harry Potter shirts and mugs
Oh
and
my
things.
God.
Yes.
So,
Playing
yeah.
cards.
And playing cards.
Yes.
So yeah. Do that.
Also, that means that's the end of all the questions, so we're gonna head into geekery.
Yeah. So do we have Yeah, I know. It's over so soon. But do you guys have any games? Have you watched, read, played, or listened to anything during the past week that you would like to recommend to our audience, or that the audience would like to recommend to us?
Yep. I will
The Heather
recommend.
musical.
What did you say?
The Heathers musical. I'm obsessed. Hey.
I have not seen this. Is it available online somewhere, or?
Yeah, you can see the entire show online. They only have 4 songs on Spotify, and I am bitter about that. But but it is based on the movie Heathers that came out in like the late 80s, I think. A little unsure. With Fiona Ryder. I think isn't she also the one that plays in Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the mom.
She also. Yeah. Oh, I love that clip at the, what was it, the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever with the pizza. Have you guys seen that?
No.
I haven't.
When they had like that. You haven't seen it? You have to
No.
look at the acceptance speech with Fiona Ryder that is just like
Okay.
looking around like all crazy, and then someone has just edited in like the weirdest piece of pizza that is just flying around. And like when she's just looking everywhere, it's just such looking at this flying pizza slice that is just like, whoo, whoo. This is amazing.
Need to Google that.
I'm
Yes,
watching it
you
right
do.
now. That is hilarious.
Right?
Lucia Farah says that she just finished watching season 1 of Westworld, fashionably late.
Hell yeah.
I haven't even started.
Do it.
I'm planning to.
It's good.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm-
I'm still on season 5 of Game of Thrones, so it's allowed to be late.
I watched. I finished season 1 of Westworld recently and started season 2. And I'm really enjoying it so far. So
Same.
Yay.
Did you watch the last episode? The latest one?
no, not yet.
I need to talk to someone
started.
about it because it was very emotional. Everyone said we haven't watched it yet, and I'm like, come on,
Catch up already.
cry with me.
I'm working on it. I'll let you know.
I have a lot of feelings.
If
Yeah.
you haven't yet, you should check out season 2 of Critical Role.
Yes.
Of
I'm
course.
currently listening to the podcast. I think I am on episode. I'm very, very, very behind, but I'm getting there. I think episode 6. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, but that's the great part. They have it on Twitch, they have it on YouTube, and they have it on podcasts. So you have no excuse to not follow Critical Role.
Exactly.
Thank you for
I
that
have-
commercial.
I feel like there are so many references currently in my life just because all my friends are like obsessed with Critical Role, and I'm like, I don't understand anything. Like when I made my Kunari cosplay, I'm like, look at my horns, and everyone is like, it looks like this one character, something tea leaf, and I'm like,
Molly
what's a
Mock.
mollymock? The F is a mollymock. And I'm like, I put hard work into this to be like, yeah, no, this looks like my own character. Woo! And then they're like, this looks like someone else. And I'm like, I hate all of you.
Fuck you.
Aw.
There's a question in the chat. CC Tori wants to know, what are y'all wearing at Dezucon?
Y'all.
Y'all. That's what she wrote.
What are
Yes.
y'all?
Y'all.
She wrote actually, yeah. I think
Sorry.
I'm just going on. I think I'm gonna go on both Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna work at my job before coming to DESCON on Saturday, so I'm not gonna cosplay. I think Sunday, not sure, but I think I'm gonna use my diva cosplay that I bought from Ninja Girl.
So excited to see you as Diva. Just, I have to say that.
Same.
So excited. You're such a cute Diva.
Aw.
Are you even trying?
Gigi.
She's so cute. I'm gonna be there on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm gonna be a handmaid from A Handmaid's Tale on Saturday, and then I'm gonna be Armistice from Westworld on Sunday.
Don't know which day, but the Critical Role day with the rest of the group as Ford.
Nice.
Awesome.
I have no idea which of the day. Every sort of date, timing, every scheduling, I've just giving everything to Ihadra.
I think maybe it's Saturday. Just
Yeah.
because I know some other people who are doing Critical Role.
I rely on my girlfriend for this.
I will be wearing probably a black skirt and a top because I will be helping out as a server at my friend's sister's wedding because the people they had hired got hospitalized.
Oh no, that's very dramatic.
Yes.
That's a nice excuse to avoid the wedding.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even. This is like going to be the second wedding that I've ever been to, and I have to work, and I'm like, what?
So we're not going to be in the same place. In other words, we won't get to like get a photo together. Oh, we can, Teddy. If we take a photo together, we can just Photoshop you in the next to it. Like,
if you look at Tonya's profile, Teddy, you know Tonya, my Tonya.
Yeah.
My Tonya. Yeah, if you look at her like cover photo, that's how I want my face. I just want it to be 10 times larger than everything else in the picture. Just like, I was there.
I can make it work. I'll Photoshop you in. Don't worry about it. Just tell me what you want and I'll make it work.
Floating head.
I am very confused right now.
Make my head into a balloon, like one of those helium balloons. Oh, it would be beautiful.
You can just be like, it will be like I have an extra head, so you can just like grow out from my shoulder.
We are so on Overcast right now.
Sorry.
Okay. It is important. Friday, I will also be at DesiCon. Don't know for how long, and not in cosplay because I'm working. So I won't have the time to change, and I won't be able to carry stuff with me and stuff. So yeah, Friday for a while, and I have some shoots lined up on Friday and Sunday. So those are the 2 days I'm going to be there. On Sunday, I'm planning to go in cosplay, but I'm not really sure who to bring yet. People say they want. I've talked to said bring Ceres, but I don't. It'll be too warm. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. She's quilted. No.
So people were like, "Are you gonna bring Kylo?" And I was like, "No."
No. It might just be FemLink again, or it might be like my 70s hipster Ariel cosplay, or Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls. One of those. I'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Was that everyone? Tonya? Do you know?
Well, I actually haven't decided whether I'm 100% going or not. But I guess that if I'm going to be at least one of the days, maybe 2. I don't know. Fridays, no. Fridays not happening because then I have this party thing with colleagues. So
I think you should come so I can give you a Gal Gadot hug again.
What?
A Gal Gadot hug.
Because she's so tall. When she hugs other women, and I've seen this, she does it every time. She grabs their face and then she like hugs them. Then she puts her head on top of them, and it's so cute. And I did that with Tonya at Anita's birthday party. I don't know if you remember it, but I did that because you're quite a bit shorter than me. So I was like,
I can finally do this famous hug.
Yes.
Well, I guess if I'm going, I might do some Blink or to do some cosplays I have lying around. If
We'll figure it out. We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
All right. That I would say concludes the show for this time. So we're so happy that you guys were able to join us, and we're so excited to see your performances at the NCC, and we wish you the very best of luck in completing your cosplay and performances and everything. Yes, can't wait.
And next week we're gonna have a DesiCon special on Sunday. It's gonna be the summer the last episode of the summer, last episode of the CosCast of this season. Then we're gonna take a summer break, and we'll probably be back in August, I think.
Yes, probably sometime in August. We will be live streaming from Torukan. So that's going to happen. There will be a game show and a talk show thing going on there. So we'll definitely be back for that.
Yeah, and also we're gonna have episode that's gonna last for a few hours, kind of special episode thingy sometime. Yeah.
Yes, soon.
Yeah.
Soon. We just need to sort some things out, logistics and things. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Next Sunday, as Sunniva said, is the season finale, I guess you would call it. Last episode of the season before we take a summer holiday. So make sure to tune in then at the normal time, 9 o'clock on Sunday. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.
Bye.